Introduction. In this topic, we are going to learn about data processing cycle, errors in data processing, methods of data processing, and computer files. Definition of terms. Data. Data refers to the raw facts entered into the computer for processing. Information. Information refers to the meaningful output obtained after processing the data. Good information should be relevant, complete, reliable, clear, and concise. Data processing. Data processing refers to the process of transforming data into output, also known as information. More generally, the term data processing can apply to any process that converts data from one state to another.
Data processing cycle refers to input-process-output stages that data goes through to be transformed into information. It is often referred to as cycle because the output obtained can be stored after processing and may be used in future as input. The four main stages of data processing cycle include data collection, data input, processing, and data output. Data collection is also referred to as data gathering or fact-finding. It involves looking for crucial facts needed for processing. Stages of data collection. The process of data collection may involve a number of stages depending on the method used. These include data creation, data transmission, data preparation, media conversion, input validation, and sorting. Data creation. This is a process of putting together facts in an organized format. It may be in form of manually prepared documents or captured from the source using a data capture device such as a barcode reader.
Data transmission. This involves transferring data to a central office via communication media where it is to be processed. Data preparation. This involves inputting data from source document to machine.
Media conversion. Data may need to be converted from one medium to another, for example, from a magnetic disk to an optical disk.
Input validation. This refers to checking whether the data entered meets the specified criteria. Sorting refers to arrangement of data in a certain predetermined order, either ascending or descending.
Methods of data collection refer to the ideal strategy or tool or approach to use to collect or gather data. Some of the methods that can be used include questionnaires, interviews, observation, and documentation review.
Questionnaires. A questionnaire is a pre-designed list of questions given to respondents to answer and then collected for analysis. Questionnaires are commonly used to obtain data from a large number of respondents. Each item in the questionnaire should be designed to address a specific objective. Interviews. An interview is whereby the interviewer probes the user of the current system in order to get information about the current system. They are face-to-face encounters. Advantages of interviews, among others, include they provide in-depth data which is not possible to get using a questionnaire. They make it possible to obtain data required to meet specific objectives. They guard against confusing the questions since the interviewer can clarify the questions, thereby helping the respondent give relevant responses. They are more flexible than questionnaires because the interviewer can adapt to the situation. Interviewer can get more information by using probing questions and like questionnaires. Questionnaires. A questionnaire is a pre-designed list of questions given to respondents to answer and then collected for analysis.
There are two broad categories of questions that are used in questionnaires. They are unstructured or open-ended questions. The unstructured and open-ended questions allow the respondent to formulate a response. They give the respondent complete freedom of response, and they are used when feelings or opinions are important. Structured or closed-ended questions are questions that are accompanied by a list of all possible alternatives from which the respondents select the answer that best describes their situation. They are used when factual responses are known. Observation. This method involves viewing the phenomenon and recording something about it through videotaping, taking notes about what is seen and what it might mean, counting occurrences of a particular phenomenon, among others. With document review refers to getting information from the existing entities or documentation in data carriers like forms, records, reports, manuals, CDs, among others.
Data input. Data input refers to a process where the collected data is entered into the computer using an input device that converts it from human-readable form to machine-readable form, that is, binary form. Data processing. Data processing refers to the transformation of input data by the Central Processing Unit, CPU, into output or information. Output. Output refers to processed data, also known as information that is meaningful to the user. This information can be displayed on the screen, printed on paper, or even communicated via transmission media. It can also be stored in any storage media for future use. Error in data processing. An error refers to data that deviates from what is correct. Types of data processing errors are transcription errors, computational errors, and algorithm or logical errors. Transcription errors. Transcription errors occur during data entry. They include misreading and transposition errors. Data integrity refers to the wholeness of data. Data is whole when it is accurate and complete. In data processing, data integrity is measured in terms of accuracy, timeliness, and relevance. Accuracy refers to the measure of how close data processed is to its expected outcome. Example, in the video you have just watched, the address on the envelope gives direction to the intended direction. To ensure data accuracy, prevent unauthorized access and direct data capture from source. Timeliness refers to data being received when it is required. Data received late becomes meaningless to the user. To ensure data timeliness, digital data capture is used, for example, barcode readers, and transmitting data at right time using computer networks. Relevance refers to data being useful for the purpose it is intended for, preventing unauthorized access, protect data from losing value through alterations, and direct data capture from source.
Minimizing threats to data integrity. Threats to data integrity can be minimized through the following ways: backup data, preferably on external storage media; control access data by enforcing security measures; design user interfaces that minimize chances of invalid data entry; using error detection and correction software when transmitting data, and using devices that directly capture data from the source, such as barcode readers, digital cameras, and optical character readers, among others.
Data processing methods. Data can be processed manually, mechanically, using devices like typewriters, and electronically using modern data processing tools such as computers. Computer files. A file is a collection of related data stored using a unique name. A file can be stored manually in a file cabinet or electronically in computer storage devices. Some of the advantages of computerized file system over traditional or manual filing system includes, among others, information takes up much less space than manual filing. It is much easier to update and modify information. It offers faster access and retrieval of data, and it enhances data integrity and reduces duplication. Elements of a computer file. A file comprises of the following elements. Record. This is a collection of related data that represent an item. Example. Suppose the item of interest is student's details. Some of the data required will include student's name, class, admission number, and stream. All these put together make a record of a single student. Field. This is a character or characters that represent a unique piece of data. Example, in a student mark sheet file, the admission number, student name, marks of a student represents the fields. Character refers to a letter, a number, or a symbol that can be entered, stored, and output by a computer. It is the smallest element in a file. It is made up of 8 bits, that is, 1 byte. Logical and physical files. Logical files. This is a file that is viewed in terms of its contents and the processing to be carried upon the contents. Physical file. This refers to a file that is viewed in terms of the actual arrangement of its contents. Types of computer processing files. Master file. This is the main file that contains relatively permanent records. This file is updated at regular intervals. Transaction file. This is a file that is used to hold input data during transaction processing. It is used to update the master file and audit transactions at set intervals. Report file. This is a file that is used to store records extracted from the data in the master file. This can be viewed, stored, or even printed. File organization methods. File organization refers to how files are arranged in and accessed from a storage media. Serial file organization method. This is a method of file organization where files are stored in the order received in the storage media and accessed one after the other in no particular sequence. This method is mostly used on magnetic tape. Random or direct file organization method. This is a method of file organization where files are stored randomly or directly in the storage media and accessed randomly or directly from the storage media. This sequential file organization method. This is a method of file organization where files are sorted in a defined order during storage and accessed by searching through the storage media from the beginning, one file after the other, until the particular file is found.
Indexed sequential combines the features of both sequential and direct access. Like sequential organization, keyed sequential organization stores data in physical contiguous blocks. The difference is the use of indexes to locate records. Each record is assigned an index that can be used to access it directly. To understand this method, we need to distinguish among 3 areas in disk storage: prime area, overflow area, and index area. Prime area. This contains file records stored by key or ID number. All records are initially stored in the prime area.
Online data processing. It is a data processing method where data is processed the moment it is received, though the feedback may not be used immediately. For this to be achieved, the data entry terminal must be connected to the processing computer via a communication link. Examples: customers queuing to be served from the counter one after the other. Real-time processing. Data processing method where data is input and processed immediately and the feedback used immediately for decision making. Example: in hotel booking system, when a customer books a particular room, details about rooms available is immediately updated so that other clients cannot book the same room. Batch processing. Data processing method where data is accumulated over a specified period of time, then processed at once, for example, monthly, annually, or weekly. Examples: payrolls, water and electricity bills, which are processed once in a month. Distributed processing. Data processing method where data is processed in networked computers in different locations. Example: a single task is split into smaller tasks that are then allocated to different computers for processing.
Multi-programming or multitasking. Multiprogramming is a type of processing where more than one programs are executed apparently at the same time by a single central processing unit.
Time-sharing processing. In time-sharing processing, many terminals are connected to a central computer. Each user request from the different data terminals is allocated a time slice within the central computer for processing. Each request is processed one after the other. Unfinished requests are chained back to the queue to wait further processing. Multiprocessing. Data processing method where a task is split to be processed at the same time by different processors in one computer. Interactive processing. Data processing method where there is continuous dialogue between the user and the computer. The computer prompts the user to provide data needed for processing.